Today I want to talk about how much profit I'm making from my eBay business. I've been doing this now for 5 years and my strategy is to try and list up a dollar value per day. I'm not really leaning on listing up a certain amount of units per day. I'm more concerned about the dollars. So $400 was originally $500 until this year. I've stripped it back a little bit to try and be more efficient and be really kind of strict on the items that I'm choosing to list up. And it's having a real dramatic effect on my eBay business because I'm becoming more profitable because I'm not wasting money on bad stock. So $400 has been a bit of a sweet spot for me. And that's the strategy that I'm going by when I'm listing up these products. Now, today I'm doing the shipping. I've already done the shipping, but I wanted to go through it with you now and show you what each of these items actually ended up profiting me. So you can get a bit of a gauge when you're listing up your value per day. What items should you be focusing on from a numbers perspective that's going to generate you the biggest amount of return? I think a lot of YouTubers on YouTube talking about eBay, they don't really necessarily speak heavily around the actual profit of an item. They like to say that they made a $100 sale, but you don't actually realize how much profit that sale was. They could have bought it for $90 and literally lost money after fees and post. So we've got Flippedit that we're using, and Flippedit has been an absolute game changer because I can now literally see and communicate exactly to the cent how much profit each and every item made. So I thought it'd be an interesting video to literally just go through my last 8 sales here on eBay and break down what the profit's telling me on eBay. I'm also going to show you how much money I've made for this financial year in this video today as well. So from July 1st through to Christmas, I'm going to continually update you guys on what my profitability is. So we're on the 18th of July right now. So the 18th of July, we've had 18 days in, and at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how much profit that has turned into with the $400 strategy that I'm mentioning. All right, now the first one, I want to actually kick things off with this package right here. I was at my local flea market on Sunday last week, and I found a Lord of the Rings DVD set. This was an awesome DVD set that sells for $70 on eBay, but I realized when I brought it home that there was a disc missing, and I was so shattered about that. So because there was a disc missing, I had to drop the price down. I put it down to $35, literally half price, because I knew this thing was never going to sell to its entirety with a disc missing. So $35, it was to get it out the door. I wanted to try and break even on the numbers. I didn't do a heavy estimation of the numbers before I listed it for $35, but I thought I would be there and thereabouts. We got the sale within 5 days. This has come through after listing within a 5-day time frame, and we ended up selling it for $35. The cost of good was the $15 that I bought it for at the flea market. Now, when you have a look at the fees and the postage costs, this has cost me $15.44 to ship off. The cost of goods, $15, and the revenue of $35. It sold with a transaction fee of $4.92, and then it also sold via promoted listings for $1.16 worth of promoted listings. So I've actually lost money. That's why I wanted to kick it off with this one, because it gets better from here. I've only made $1.52 on this item. So really, really disappointing to go to the flea market and literally pay somebody $2 to go to all the work, effort, and energy to get it to go on to sell. So unfortunately, I think it was heavily due to the promoted listing that caused that one to topple over. I probably should have listed it up for $40, but then again, maybe the sale doesn't come through because you're getting upwards to the full asking price. So I think 35 was probably fair. I just took that one down as a lesson to always check my discs. Whenever I'm buying video games or DVDs in any location, I always need to make sure that I'm checking my product. Still after 5 years, I just get complacent. So please don't do that, because you'll make the same mistake that I did, where we literally lose $1.52. This one here, this one was a nice sale to see come through. I've gone ahead and I've put it into the small padded mailers. This one here was Helsing, and it was actually only volumes 1 and 3. It sold for $19.95. So $19.95 was actually something that I was okay about, because the cost of good on this was $4. I grabbed this in a big private pick. Just 2 DVDs, not a complete set, they're partial DVDs. I'm really trying to put a focus on getting rid of the partials in my DVD collection. All of the tubs that you can see behind me just here are DVDs, and a lot of them are partial, incomplete series sets like this. So I'm actually really excited when any sale comes through for these. I'm actually accepting best offers like crazy as soon as I see I've got a partial. because I think what I'm going to do with these sorts of sales moving forward is strip them out of my eBay store, take them to the flea market and sell them for $1 or 50 cents each, and then discard the rest and cop it as a loss in Flippedit, and take it to the local thrift store, donate it, because they are just causing so much clutter here in this house. And you'll see here that Helsing, with a $4 purchase, going on to sell, the fees on this one was not promoted listing, but it was only $2.94 for eBay's fees. My cost of good was $4, $19.95 sale price, and $8.92 to ship it off, has led me to only make $4.09 in profit. I do not want to be doing this, and I don't want you to be doing this either. $4 times however many listings that I've got in here, that's a really inefficient business model if you're going to be slaving away while you've got a 9-to-5 job, if you're doing this part-time. So I always say, don't list anything under $20, because selling it via not promoted listing and putting your postage rate in there, and if you're not even at a band 5 discount, it's going to be even worse in postage. You may literally break even if you're buying DVDs for $2 that sell for $20. How crazy is that? So only $4 in profit for me on that occasion, hence why I'm going to be doing what I'm doing in the DVD category. Right, this one here, this was Duke Nukem. I only bought this one about a week or two ago on Facebook Marketplace. I'm using Facebook Marketplace so much recently to buy my new category that I've got a heavy focus on, which is video games and video game consoles. I always had the pessimistic opinion here that the video game category was too saturated and I couldn't find anything out there. But now I've put a real piece of time and attention to it, and I am actually picking up these pretty commonly. Now, PlayStation 1 game, I've actually opted to put it into the small patter mailer, but as you can see, it is quite thick and I've put a lot of bubble wrap around it. So I'm thinking it should survive the postage run. I used to always put these PlayStation 1 games into boxes. They did work out to the same postal rate, but I'm getting away with it by sending them off in these small patter mailers. I haven't had any concerns yet. So if you're doing video games, you're going to be going ahead and putting them into these medium track post envelopes. I'll talk about that in a second. That'll save you some money. But for bigger items like a PlayStation 1 game that's a little bit thicker, I've found success in putting them into these, more so from a time aspect. You don't have to fiddle around with bubble wrap, butcher's paper, find a box that's the right size. You just go ahead and throw it into one of these. Now, Duke Nukem, I bought it with a $5 cost. So it was $5 for this because I broke down all of my average sale prices out on the haul. There was a lot of games, a lot of consoles. I just broke out an average price for every single one, and I put that into Flippedit as a $5 cost of good. So the fees on this one, it was $6.86 in eBay fees. It was a $5 cost of good, a $49.99 sale price, $8.92 worth of shipping for a small patter mailer. So that one there has ended up netting me a profit of $29.17. So I'm really happy about that, $29. And I think the PlayStation 1 games do generally net you that sort of a return. So it was really cool to see that one come through. Right, we've got a stack of envelopes, these small, or medium I should say, tracking envelopes. Now they're really, really handy because they're the cheapest rate that you're going to get them at from a postage standpoint. If you're going with tracking on eBay, you're going to have some form of incurred cost that's a little bit nastier than going stamps and spending $2 to $3. When you go to the medium tracked post envelope, these things are actually now costing about $7 with the Australia Post price rise. So the one that I've got here is Lego Jurassic World on the Nintendo Switch. Actually, I think it was, yeah, it's this one. This is Lego. I can feel it, I know it's a Switch game. So yeah, this one here, Jurassic World Lego, I bought this on Facebook Marketplace. Again, Facebook Marketplace for video games has been coming through. I bought it this week. This one's actually turned around in a really quick space of time. We sold this one in about 24 hours on eBay. Now I've got a buy cost here of $5 because I bought a big Nintendo Switch console that went on to sell for $180, but I bought the entire deal for $150. So in Flippedit, I've put $110 worth of value attributed to the console, and then I put these games down at $5 a piece for the number of games that I bought. I think there are about 8 games, $5 a piece, rounded out at $40. There's my total cost of good, put into Flippedit at $150. So that's how I've worked out the cost of good on that one for a multi-quantity order that I went ahead and purchased. Let's have a look at the fees on this. Again, it didn't sell via promoted listing. It was only $3.86. The shipping fees was $7. I'm attributing a $7 cost for this envelope. And we sold it for $27. So that Lego actually ended up making us $11.14, which I'm pretty happy about when I'm attributing a $5 buy cost. To make $11 in profit is a pretty good return. Generally, what I'm thinking when I'm making my sales and purchase scenarios is I'm trying to buy something that I can triple the revenue for when I sell it. So 50 into 150, and that generally then nets me about a double my money situation. The 50 turns into 100 worth of my money, I get the $50 back, and I make $50 in profit. So in that scenario there, I'd be happy to make $5 profit, and I've made $11 profit. So I can't complain when the numbers work out as I want them to. Right, we've got this one right here, which is another envelope for $7. This one is actually another Facebook Marketplace pickup. It's Pokemon Gold on the Game Boy. Absolutely love Pokemon stuff. Anything Pokemon related, especially in the video game category, always sells really well. This Pokemon game was bought for $25, is what I attributed the buy cost to be. And we sold it for $99. $99. So that was a great sale price. And then we go ahead and have a look at the numbers here. $6.50 is my postage cost that I've labeled it as because I bought a few of these before the price rise happened 18 days ago. So that one's gone in there at $6.50 before that price rise. $13.29 eBay has taken out for a transaction fee. And then the promoted listing portion of the fees was an extra $3.27. So with a $99 sale price, we have profited $50.94. So I've bought it for $25 and I've tripled my money. So this was an amazing sale. I would have been stoked to have made $25 profit, and we've made $50 in profit. So Pokemon games are a really, really good one to try and find. We've only got a couple more here to go, guys, and then I'll be showing you guys what my overall profit is so far after 18 days of selling on eBay. Right, so the next one here is Dead or Alive 2. Again, another video game, selling a lot of them at the moment. It's our number 2 category that we're selling. DVDs is still the number 1 category, but the video games are fast coming up to it, and I think they are going to beat it by the end of the year. So we'll have to wait and see. This one here, $20. I bought it for $3 as an attributed buy price. Selling it off for $7.30 worth of postage fees. $0.66 is my promoted listing fee, and $2.95 is the transaction fee. Sold it for 20 bucks. This is a very low ticket item. I've made $6 in profit. So you can see there, buying it for 3, selling it for 20, I'm only making $6 in profit. So I really want to keep that as the absolute bare bones minimum. It's still getting me my numbers. I'm still making 6 and spending 3, but I don't want to play that down that low. I want to play with high ASP sort of a product. I want to be selling $30, $40, $50, $60. And then the percentage of postage rate isn't that much of a percentage in the big scheme of the sale, right? Like if you sell something for $100 like the Pokemon game, the $7 postage rate is only 7% of the equation because there's just so much more revenue to play with. But the second you have a $7 postal rate on this one right here, that's like 40% of the total revenue is attributed to postage. So I don't like to get down that low because then the profit is obviously the thing that gets crushed. I like to play in high ASP and there's more meat in the sandwich to make profit. $50 on the Pokemon game. So that one was okay, $6 in profit. At least we're not losing money like we were on Lord of the Rings. The next one is another video game, a Nintendo Switch video game. This one was Monarch. So Monarch was bought at the flea market, where I've been buying games at the flea market off this one vendor. He's got brand new and sealed Nintendo Switch games, and I'm getting them for about $15, $16, $17 odd dollars. This one was bought for $17, which is quite high, considering it's sold for $37.95. So a $37.95 sale price, $17 buy price, $7.30 I've attributed to postage, ad fee of $1.25, transaction fee of $5.30. On this game, which took about 3 weeks to sell, we have made $7.10. So you can see that buy price really impacting the overall profitability with a $7.10 profit. Now, if you guys want to use Flippedit, obviously it's available at all times, link in the description below. It's been a really handy time saver for me, and I'm also getting very accurate depictions about what my numbers are doing. So it's been really handy to use this. The last one that I have got here is Need for Speed This is Underground, a black label PlayStation 2 game that we ended up selling on a best offer for $40. This came in another private pick where, you know that last one that I showed you was a $5 buy price? Well, this was out of the same haul, and I attributed $5 worth of a buy price to this one as well. We actually got $20 in profit on this one because the fees was $5.57 plus $1.32. You've noticed a lot of my sales are coming through via promoted listing. I'm promoting at 3%. That's my overall promotion. So a $7.30 shipment in the medium tracked post envelope, revenue of $40, no sales tax. The sales tax that you're seeing up there is referring to international sales. We haven't had any international sales going into the mail today, so that will always be zero if it's not going overseas. But the profit that we're seeing here for Need for Speed, $20.81. So that is fantastic to buy something for $5 and actually 4x the investment and make $20 worth of profit. That's a brilliant sale at the end of the day. So all of these items, DVDs and majority of them being video games, are the thing that are selling for me so much right now on eBay, which is great to see because it gives me awareness about what to go out and buy next. So let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what the numbers are doing holistically for my business on eBay. Now, this is taking into account all business numbers, right? So all my postage costs, all my additional postage envelopes that I'm going out and buying in preparation for future sales, all of my numbers are taken into account. And you'll see here, I've sold $7,247 over the last 18 days. My expenses for the business, $4,157.62. I have profited $3,089.54 over the last 18 days. So $3,089, and we divide that out by 18, I've made $171 a day profit. That's my earnings that I can choose to either reinvest back into the business or I can take out and use for any of my own personal expenses that I need. Now, it's obviously the taxable amount, so I'm still to pay tax on that figure. But that's pretty much a running guide for me to let me know how much money I'm making in my business on a daily and weekly basis. So really cool number to see there, because if I times that out by 365, I'll be earning $62,000 selling on eBay from a profit perspective. That's my money, $62,000 that then we would then go and get taxed on. You know, am I projected to stay at $171? This is just a very small time frame. I generally end up more so averaging around about a $40,000 profit. So we've just had a really good 18 days to start July. And if I'm honest, it's more around about that 40K that we end up taking home from a profit perspective. But it's just really, really cool to be able to use Flippedit to get these numbers just readily accessed. There's a sync option as well. When you go into your active listings, you literally hit this sync button and any new active listings are just automatically going to update from eBay. And you've got the opportunity to use it yourself if you want to. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, guys. We'll see you soon.